What's going on, guys, and welcome back to EME TV, and welcome back to my car park. Well, today, as the video title actually suggests, we're going to be talking about costs. How much has this Mark 5 behind me, you can hear it warming up in the background, cost me up until this point? So I'm going to be going through everything that I've spent so far. I think I've overspent. You guys can let me know in the comments below, but let's get into it.
If you're out here getting this one, then this one's for you.
And before we start, that is a very familiar sight here in the Mark 5. Oh, yeah, without further ado, let's get going. So guys, I hope you can actually see me. I think the camera's all right. It seems like it's all right. But yeah, so I've just stopped off in a car park, quiet car park, and got everything here. I've got a picture of all the prices and stuff on the Excel sheet. Just want to run through the prices up until this car. Now, I think I've overspent, but yeah, I've said that about 50 million times. But yeah, let's get into it. So I bought the car, obviously non-running as you know, and the price I bought the car for was £1,400. Now, £1,400 for a non-running DSG Golf with, at the time, the former engine had 155,900 something, so basically 156. Full service history and everything, but unfortunately, that engine obviously decided to give up on the previous owner. But the reason I actually bought this car for that price, and I actually didn't want to spend, for a non-running one, I didn't want to spend any more than about £1,200. But the ones I saw for £1,200, or the ones that I was, you know, searching for and obviously speaking to sellers, they didn't have the pan roof and they didn't have the DSG. So those two were like main factors in it. What I did go and try and get a previous car, so I tried to get a previous I tried to get a different Mark 5 Golf DSG sunroof in the quite rare, I don't know what it's called from factory, but it was in that blue color. I'll probably try and put a picture up on the screen. That was a non-running one as well. The engine gave up due to the common issues of obviously the oil pump gave up, so catastrophic engine damage, wasn't running. That one on eBay bidding, because it was actually an eBay auction, and I was bidding up to £1,600. I don't know why. I put in a bid of £1,650 and still lost it. So I was like, that made me think maybe the market, or my budget of £1,200 at the time was quite unrealistic. And after that, obviously on eBay, some people obviously time waste, so the top seller, I believe, or the highest bidder was like £1,800 for a non-running car, which I thought was very, very high. Not surprising to me, that highest bidder actually fell through, didn't want the car, something along those lines. Seller got back in touch with me, do I want to pay £1,650 for the car? I also said no. The reason I said no is because I had bought this for £1,400. So yeah, I bought this for £1,400. Got it delivered to me. Delivery was another £70 because I bought the car from Burnley. Had to get it delivered to Manchester, so that cost £70. Now, it took me an age to try and find an engine. The engine was the main issue, and I got messed about with the engine as well by a company. Now, I've said there was an engine story, a story about getting the engine from a company in, I think they're based in Manchester or Bolton or whatever, but essentially there was this company called Auto Spares Direct, I believe they're called. I don't care about saying their name. I will say their name because they've messed me about and they haven't given me my money back. It's been like 2 months. It's ridiculous. So essentially I found an engine on Facebook Marketplace, very good condition, apparently had 87,000 miles supposedly, and it was going for 750. And I said, all right, sweet, I'll have the engine for 750. I went down to their unit. They have a unit. Went down there. They said, oh yeah, they don't have the engine at the unit that I went to. They have the car is at a different yard that they have. I said completely fine. At the time I was desperate for an engine because obviously the car was at 84 autos. Now I don't want to be taking someone's space up for that long. I want things to keep moving. I want the car on the road as much as possible, and I don't want it to be sitting in his space. One, me not having the car, and two, it's taking up space in his workshop, which is obviously it's a business, so obviously I've got to think like that. So they said they'll get the engine to me. Oh, the engine will be with you by Friday. This was on a Monday or Tuesday. I went to their unit. I said fine. I said, surprisingly, I said, I'll leave a deposit for the engine. This is how desperate I was for the engine. And I was going to pay for the engine outright before I'd even seen. First thing, never ever do that. I've learnt my lesson. But what I did is I sent £100 as a deposit, holding deposit for the engine. When the engine arrives, I pay then £650. They said they were going to deliver it to me on that Friday, so on and so forth. That Friday came, and this was during like freezing conditions when we had like -2, -3 degrees. Now I've called up, where's my engine? Oh yeah, due to something, one of our machines isn't working, we can't get the car out. Oh, we're backlogged with engines, this, that and the other. Okay, next week comes, I'll give you, this was Friday, I'll give you an update on Monday. So I'm like, flipping out. You've already pushed me back 4 days, but all right, fair enough. Monday comes, oh, sorry mate, it's not with us, this, that and the other. Wednesday comes, I call the guy up, this guy's name's Martin. I'm from Auto Spares. Let me make sure that I'm getting this right, because I hate to deal with people like this. People think that they can take people's money and not pay. Anyway, I would rather not use those words on YouTube, but Auto Spares Direct Limited, yeah. The guy's name's Martin, and mate, he tried to just do me over. So on Wednesday I called up, and this is how I know that they're actually like just dodgy people in general. And this scenario would have planned out so much different if I paid fully for that engine and then didn't get my money, because I would have had to then, because that 750, I'm not in a position to lose 750. So thank goodness I only sent 100 quid. And yeah, I left it at that, although I did get my 100 quid back. But yeah, anybody around the northern area, don't deal with people, I can't say don't deal, it's everybody's, you know, you might have had good customers. I was one of those bad customers that, well, not bad customers, I'm not a bad customer, but he's obviously effed me about, hasn't he? So yeah, he messed me about, so whatever. I don't want to speak in the scenario because I'm getting really, really angry. But yeah, Auto Spares Direct up in the northern area around Bolton or something, just be wary if you're going to deal with them, because they took £100 from me as a holding deposit, and I told them to send me back the £100, and till this day, it's been like 2 months, they haven't sent me anything. So yeah, so then after that I went on eBay, found an engine. The guy was looking for 900. It was during the Christmas period. I offered him 780, he accepted, and I got an engine for 780 from a Mark II TT, which is ideally what I wanted, because I didn't want to get another engine from a Mark 5, because the stereotype around them is that they get their heads kicked in all the time. It's not sort of boy racing, foot to floor all the time. So I was like, you know what, UCFSI engines are in multiple different models. VW put them in multiple different models. So I was like, you know what, I'll go for the Mark II. And it had 74,000 on the clock, which is half the mileage that this had. So I was like, sweet, great. I had my friend Usman obviously put the engine in for me. Not a job that a lot of companies are willing to take on. I called up quite a few DSG specialists who said, you know, we wouldn't, this is not a job we're willing to take. So I thought, oh, fair enough. Probably would have cost me more if I went to them anyway. Usman charged me 300 quid to change the engine, which is buy a complete engine, take the old one out and put that one back in. £300. I gave him a bit more because he obviously sorted me out as well, but it was 300 quid originally. Then I bought service parts. I changed the oil filter. I bought a new cabin filter, which was 40 quid. I then bought some Monza alloys. Monza alloys all around, as you can see, decent condition with tires as well, which was, you know, quite important because I needed the tires and tires on the other car, on those Borbet wheels or alloys, sorry, were quite dire. So I bought the Monza alloys and tires for £180. Sorry, people are just pulling up around me wondering what they're trying to do, but yeah, £180 for both the alloys and the tires, which for me was an absolute steal. And Monzas are in decent condition as well, so I got an absolute bargain there. Now, obviously, new battery with 4 years warranty cost me 80 quid. And then I bought a thermostat. Now, getting into things that are sort of typical common problems. The thermostat, so when the car was running, it never used to go over about 60, 70 as in temperature. It's obviously, we all know it's supposed to be bang on 90. Now what we did is we changed the thermostat, because that can be a common issue on the Mark 5 TFSI engines, and that cost me 49 quid. And then the starter motor, no, the thermostat itself, no labour included, was 49 quid. Starter motor was sticking sometimes. So when we used to start the car when it was cold, it used to make a little noise and then start. Didn't like it, thought, you know what, I'll just get a new starter motor. Got a new starter motor including labour, paid 60 quid for that. The labour for the thermostat was 85 quid, because I believe you've got to take off quite a few components in the engine bay. So yeah, Usman did that for me as well. I bought one of the lines, one of like the coolant braided lines or something like that, one of the coolant pipes or lines in the engine was leaking. Therefore I had to buy a new line for that. That cost 15 quid, so that wasn't too expensive. Oversized induction. Now, my oversized ram air induction kit, I won this for a stonkingly cheap price. So this was an eBay auction going on, and I was like, you know what, I'll just get involved quickly because it was in Manchester near me. Bidded, I want it for 62 quid. Now, all the other induction kits that I've seen are all circa 150 quid for a decent oversized ram air, especially 150 to 200. So this was an absolute bargain. So I got that for 62 quid. I went and collected that as well. Then we move on to a valet. So as I showed you guys in a previous video, this car was absolutely filthy, mold all over the place. I don't even know how long it had been sat. So I had to get this car fully valeted before I could even try and daily drive it. So I did that. That cost me 60 quid from my local car wash. And then I bought a DSG oil cooler. Now this is a part that we thought was the problem for the leaking coolant we had. So I did a video on obviously the coolant leaking all over on the oil cooler, and we thought it was the oil cooler actually leaking. I explained in that video that we obviously bought some what is it called? That's what it's called, Radsil. Bought some Radsil. I bought some Radsil for 8 quid. I bought the DSG oil cooler for 60 quid off eBay, but I obviously went and bought some Radsil to see if that would solve it, knowing that if it didn't, then the oil cooler was coming. That did solve it, and since then I've had no coolant leaks whatsoever. The coolant on top of the oil cooler has actually all dried up as well, so no leaks as far as we're concerned. So at this moment in time, with this car, I have spent a whopping £3,256 on this Mark 5 GTI. Now, obviously I did this one for content reasons, not really to buy and sell, because if I was doing it to buy and sell, I mean, at the moment I'm not really gonna, I don't think I'm gonna get that much. This is a HPI clear car. The bodywork, obviously, as I've shown you in a previous video as well, isn't the best, but you know, that is it. I've spent almost £3,300 on this Mark 5 GTI. Is it worth it? Yes, because I'm thoroughly enjoying driving it. But the only thing that's doing my head in is the MPG, which, yeah, I'll obviously try and sort out. I don't know how I'm going to sort it out. I guess I've just got to have a bit more, a tad less fun. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think. At this moment in time, the Mark 5 has actually cost me a whopping £3,300, there or thereabouts, just shy of that. Is that good? Is that bad? I've got the top spec one, so I guess it is all right. And you know, heated seats, it does make a difference in this climate. I can't complain. So yeah, guys, without further ado, thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned for more content to come. Please like, comment, and subscribe as well if you haven't done so already. If you want to see some more Mark 5 content or FN2 content, that'll be coming as well, because I've actually encountered some problems on that, unfortunately. That'll be coming to the channel as well. But as always, as I say, thanks a lot for the support, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.
If you ain't getting this one, then this one's for you.